My name is Jacob Lake, and I did my presentation on artificial intelligence. What is AI slash artificial intelligence? Um, Through some research and multiple sources, I was able to come up with this definition because really, artificial intelligence is a quite broad category. So I pretty much just summarized all my research into this definition. Um, they say the modern definition of artificial intelligence, or sometimes referred to as machine learning, is the simulation of human intelligence that is processed on machines or computer systems. These processes include learning, reasoning, and self-correction. Basic components of how AI works. So I went out and did some research, and I put together these 6 components. It was These are pretty much standard that I found on pretty much almost all websites, and I kind of combined all of them and made some sense out of it. First one is machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, neural networks, cognitive computing, and natural language processing. And on the next slides, I'll talk about each one of these components. So for the first one, I just give a brief description of each of these, and then I'll talk a little bit about them. The first one is machine learning. This part of AI allows for computers with this technology to automatically learn and improve on its experience without requiring direct input from programmers or people. Second one is deep learning. Deep learning is closely related to machine learning, but this allows for artificial neural networks to learn by processing the data. This usually involves multiple layers of these networks that work together to determine a single output from many inputs. Neural networks. This is a system which is modeled after the neural connection in the human brain. So stacks of perceptrons, what they call it, create artificial neural networks within the computer system, which basically are designed to function like the brain and the neural network inside our brain. Next one is cognitive computing. This is what creates and improves on the interaction between humans and machines. It essentially seeks to mimic a human thought process within a computer. Next one is natural language processing, which we've talked about in the chapter a few times throughout the whole book. This is what allows computers to interpret, recognize, and produce human language and speech. Last but not least, computer vision. This technique is what allows deep learning and identification of patterns that allow the computer to interpret images, graphs, tables, and pictures. So how does mankind benefit from AI technology? Enhanced automation. So think of things like factories, or really could be any type of complicated task that can now be automated that couldn't be before without the power of technology. Um, so with like a artificial intelligence, it can solve complex problems. When I say complex problems, probably problems that we could solve but would take much longer without the power of AI, and perform tedious work. So office work, things people don't want to do that pretty much waste humans' times, artificial intelligence can take over and do, so we can put our focus on more important things. Next one is smarter weather, and I put this one in there because things like disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, we could use AI to analyze and further predict when these things are going to come. We can recognize patterns, things like that. Um, so I just put smarter weather. Um, and the next one is lessens the human responsibility. So as human beings, we have tons of responsibilities. I couldn't even list all the ones that this would include, but you can quite imagine the responsibilities that could be taken away from things like the weather or complex problems or automated or tasks in a factory that are dangerous. We no longer have to rely on humans to do it. Um, and this one is kind of hard to come to terms with, but it's realistically true, and it's less errors. So all around, artificial intelligence is just better at most things, but don't forget that we are the ones who created it and programmed it to be that way. So it doesn't take all the power away from humans. Then I included what are the risks of AI technology. So there's tons of risk and there's tons of positive benefits too, but I just picked the most popular ones and then like compared other websites and just found the ones that was most relevant. The first one is an artificial superintelligence, which you've probably read a lot about, seen movies like I, Robot. Basically, technology that could take over intelligent pieces of software, applications, or robots. Very broad, but you get the idea. Obviously, it could create a negative impact on the labor market, and that comes down to replacing people's jobs all around. I think almost every area of the world would be affected. Computer programmers, even them, as AI becomes intelligent enough to correct itself and write its own code to correct itself. Autonomous weapons, thanks to Elon. This is basically, think of like Terminator, something like that. A super robot, things like that. It goes all over the place. Like they consider autonomous weapons like, like a police robot that sniffs out bombs or de-arms them. That could be considered an autonomous weapon. And then the next one is hacking algorithms. So these could basically put together algorithms that could hack into anything. They could be far greater than any human algorithms would be able to. So I think this one is pretty dangerous. And the last one is also kind of hard to come to terms with, and that's human skills replaced. So as these machines take over and perform these tasks better, we no longer have to. That lessens our skill and experience. We become not as good at things over time. And as evolution, or as we evolve and move on, it may, really affect that. I don't know right now. And I just go through and list some of the top companies utilizing AI just to show you the relevance of how important it is in our modern era right now. And there's more companies than this, but I wanted to pick companies that everyone would pretty much all know or heard of. And them are Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, IBM, Intel, Microsoft, Nvidia, Qualcomm, Twitter. So you can see that pretty much every major company that that's operating right now is utilizing AI. And that's it. Thank you for watching my presentation.